until I do get anybody in here to watch my live stream, I'll just talk about what I was going over in my last video. And the funny thing is, I cut it out, everything about it. I cut every word out except for and so that's all it had in it. So I had to freaking go back and redo it. And instead, I guess I'm just going to go over the what I base the just the general topics on that video. So the first question I had, beginning, let's see, about the money that I made over $1,000 in a day on Valentine's Day. They wanted to know how I did it, what did I do to do it, and is it possible for everybody to do it? Well, the answer to that question is yes. It is definitely possible for anybody out there to do it. It's very, very easy, especially if you are going to be in the alternative webcam modeling like I am, the master and mistress type deals. If you're into any of that kind of stuff, now I don't encourage anybody to go out there and become that overnight. If you're not a dominant by nature, just forget about doing it. Although you might be able to fool some people if you put your little mask over your head and act like you're a mean MFer, then whatever. Float your boat. I'm sure it won't tickle their pickle, though, if you know what I mean, Jelly Bean. Anyways, so back in February the 14th, I had just got into the green screens. Um, by the way, thanks to the follower slash fan who got me this new green screen behind me. I got it in last week sometimes, but I made a tree graphic. It was the red heart tree graphic. The leaves was red hearts, and I put that in my background on Valentine's Day. There is not a lot of cam models that do modeling during the holidays or even during the week, Monday through Friday, from 24 hours a day. Basically, there's hardly any models on whatsoever. Now, when it comes to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's totally different. That's where you're going to make all the money if you're a really good model. If you don't think you're a good model, I don't know what to tell you. I guess just believe in yourself because it's pretty easy, and it doesn't matter what you look like or any of that stuff. So going back to the money, after I made that graphic, I had signed on to ChatterBait, which is my normal content selling or my normal webcam modeling site that I go to. I also do StreamMate and MiniVids. Um, so that morning I went to ChatterBait and I got online and I was doing my normal thing, being myself. I was Master J, um, and I think at that time, let's see, February, yeah, right around the end was I was just trying to understand what do I need to do to please my audience base. Like, what is it that separates me from all these guys, like the Romanian people or whatever country that is? You can just tell they're not from the United States, but that doesn't mean nothing. It's just they have like a stigma or whatever that goes with that. I think it is Romanian, but um, it's just like they're robotics of sex robots. It's basically how people look at them, and I wanted to be different from them, So in order to do that, I had to be myself. I had to be true, and I had to engage in my audience. That is probably the most importantly single-handed thing I do is engage in my audience. Um, Basically, what I mean by that is, if you come into my room, say hi. I'll go through randomly if like there's a dead period in my chat to where I'm not saying nothing and nobody's typing anything and my screen or the chat window is just full of my tip menu that's being posted back in the chat every so many minutes, or the king tipper that's being posted back in the chat every so many minutes. If it's all I see is that, then I usually go through and go to the user list, and I'll run down through the user list. always on Chatterbait, uh, always read up the purple names. You want to pay attention to the purple and pink names, um, along with the teal and blue color names. Depending on your screens, the colors change. But then there's the black names that don't have any money. Um, I'm not saying don't pay attention to the black names, because believe it or not, I have made quite a bit of money from the black names. Um, but so for Valentine's Day, I got on there just being normal, and I don't even think I was naked. No, I wasn't. In fact, I did that entire show that day, not even taking my clothes off, and still brought home over $1,000. Um, so it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. The first 500 was from one of my slaves. The next 300, I sold a carbon copy of, Clone of Willie. I sold it for, I think it was 280. Um, and that included some of my special bodily fluid along with it for another, I think it was an additional $50. So that put us up to $800 right there. Um, the $500 came in split payments. It wasn't all at once, and none of it was in tokens. In fact, most of my payments are not really ever in tokens. I have my website set up for that very reason. So, and like, I put stuff on my stream, like my email address, or not anymore, but when I first started out, I was putting my email address um, before I got a website. And I don't know, I can count of at least 5 or 6 times that I was just doing my chat, doing my cam show, and random people just put money into my PayPal account without me asking, without them asking for anything or anything like that. It does happen. Um, so that's another little cool thing. You know, I always, no matter what, put my website. I don't know where I'm pointing at. It's right here. But I always put my website in the stream. Um, I don't know how good the whole green screen thing is going for modeling aspects. I mean, I am first place on mini vids, so that's something at least. Um, in the for the King of the Year contest, at least. Let's see. Let me see if I can remember what else. Okay. The next question I remember. How was it the question? Let me just go find it right quick. By the way, thank you guys for everybody that is a subscriber. 166. I'm on my way to 1,000. You have to have a steady income in my industry. Well, let me break it down to you like this. For example, if you had 5,000 followers on an external site, and you wondered, well, how come, I don't know, let's say you had 5,000 followers, does that mean that, you're going to make a lot of money? No. I mean, it really don't mean crap. Um, if my opinion is, I look at it like this. Every person that I meet or connect with, or, they go private with, I keep a record. Almost every person that comes in my room, especially the ones that talk and don't talk. That's a very, I don't know, something I do. I always keep a record of my private shows, and I keep a record, especially if they spend a lot of money, or if they're one of the top that are my slaves and I take a lot of money. I keep a record of who they are, what they like, um, how the show went, and that's about it. But so in order to do that, obviously I can't do that with like every single person, but I do it with the ones that matter. I try to do it with every person that pays money. Um, I don't have that many followers. I don't think. I don't consider myself having hardly any followers. In fact, the number 2, 3, 4, and 5 that I looked at last night on the mini vids, also that's running in the Social King of the Year, they have 30 and 40 and 50,000 followers. Um, but yet on mini vids they only had 50, I think 50 followers. I have 93. That to me that's not a lot, but 93, let's say 93 people are following me, and every one of those 93 people bought a $10 video. Now, I mean, now do I make enough money? You know what I'm saying? So I don't consider having a lot of followers meaning very much. It don't hold its weight, you know, in gold. That's for sure. um, I I see. I have five or I have 3,000, 4,000. Yeah, 4,000 on all my accounts on Chatterbait. I had two different accounts. At one time, I had three. I do encourage people who are looking to become a model or are into modeling. If they haven't already made another account, go ahead and make another one. That way you can have, you know, multiple types of shows. If somebody sees you on and they see you got a separate name, it'd be totally different. Somebody's knocking at my door. It had to be when I was live on YouTube.